Manchin is a conservative guy, and I always thought he was part of the DLC. And I spent time down in Charleston when he was governor with him to help him a little bit, and I've always thought he is much more conservative than I am. But on the other hand, he is a solid guy, and I'm sure he sees political benefit, but he's no fool. When I went down there because he was going to be head of the Governors Association, and then Byrd died, so he's going to run for Senate, but in the interim. And so my trip down there was supposed to be to define the governor's conference agenda, but it wound up talking about his campaign. And, he had a 70% approval rating of as governor. As senator, last time he got reelected with 46 or 47. I mean, you pay a big price for being a national Democrat in West Virginia. So all this, every time Bernie Sanders or AOC attacks him, it's the best thing that could happen to him in West Virginia.
I would say this, Joe Manchin was actually great fun to work with when I was at the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, because he is a pilot. He flew actively around the state and around the country, and he always took time for us and met with us. So he's one of these guys that has had a lot of experience in public service or in public office, but I kind of wonder whether there's the breadth of experience that's prepared him for what he's doing. I think he's out over the front of his skis here. I mean, he at some point, it won't be Biden. Biden will be civil and kind and thoughtful, and it probably won't be Harris. But at some point, someone is gonna, if he really keeps standing in the way of things, he's going to pay a price.
See, I really think the question is how much he's standing in the way of things. Infrastructure bills and public works bills are always very popular. And anytime Congress spends money and passes out candy, everybody wants to get the candy.
Right.
Nobody wants to pay for it. And I got a feeling that there are a lot of Democrats who would say, yeah, we're for this. I mean, I remember in the old days, Brock and Muskie, who were from very different parts of the political spectrum, but always worked very closely together. And they both say I co-sponsor, one would say to the other, I co-sponsored this bill, but if Congress is dumb enough to pass it, I hope the president will veto it. But the 12-year-old reporters who cover Congress now for the cable networks don't understand any of that. They don't understand that you do co-sponsorships so you can write the press release and not because you want the legislation,
right?
And all that kind of thing. And so, but in any event, we're in this is a 50-50 Senate. And, to be sure one vote is really important, but my guess is there are a number of votes, that probably half dozen people who would be are very happy that Manchin has taken the arrows.